I'm going to tell you a story you have never heard. My brother, my sister, today we're talking about a great black woman by name Belinda Sutton. Belinda Sutton, she's also known as Belinda Royall, and the Royal comes with double L at the end. In this class, we're going to stick to Belinda Sutton, S-U-T-T-O-N. And I need you. Oh my God, interesting things are happening. This story is going to blow your mind. Today we're talking about Belinda Sutton. Belinda is spelled B-E-L-I-N-D-A. Sutton is S-U-T-T-O-N. My brother, my sister, Belinda Sutton was born in 1713 in present-day Ghana. Present-day Ghana, at that time called the Gold Coast. She was born right here in Ghana, and at a very young age she was sold into slavery. A very beautiful black woman, and you can see a photograph. Those of you who are with us right here in the class, you can see it on the board, and those of you who have joined us on Twitter, you can also see it. Oh my God, what a beautiful picture. Now when you look at the face, you could guess which part of Ghana she would be in today if she was born today. My brother, my sister, beautiful nose. Her eyes are very sharp. She has a face that is shining like the full moon. And when you look at her lips, it's just like cream crackers. Oh, God have mercy. Oh, what a woman. Oh. And when you look at her bosom, it looks like she has a full bosom. To those who don't know what bosom means, find that out. Today, we are talking about Belinda Sutton. Belinda Sutton was born in 1713 circa. And of course, she was born in this part of the country today called Ghana. At a very young age, she was sold into slavery. And when she arrived in slavery, oh my God, she was a very serviceable young woman. She would cook, she would wash, oh, she would even iron, she would get to the backyard and even do some gardening. She did not wait to be told to work, and because of that, her master fell in love with her. Now I'm going to be telling you more. Who was her master? My brother, my sister, she was sold into slavery into the royal house, Isaac Royal House. Now this is a very historic house and grounds from the American colonial period with enslaved people's quarters. My brother, my sister, is known as the Isaac Royal House. It was a house that was notorious for slavery, and it was a very big house that was owned by very, very rich people, people who made their money or their wealth out of the slave trade. My brother, my sister, that was where she was. And she was in the slave quarters in Medford in Massachusetts. Yes, Massachusetts in America. Oh gosh. Now, her slave master, or better still, her enslaver, was called Isaac Royall Jr. Isaac Royall Jr. In fact, the son of Isaac Royall, the owner of the Isaac Royal House, which is still standing in Medford, Massachusetts today. My producer is going to try and get a photo of that house, known as the Isaac Royal House in Medford, Massachusetts. Oh my God, the slave quarters, my brother, my sister, and you will see exactly where Belinda Sutton was enslaved. She worked very hard. She kept the house nice. There were other slaves in that house. In fact, her training from Ghana, at that time called the Gold Coast, was unique. She never lied. She spoke the truth. One day she walked to her master and said, "Master, I'm not going to demand that you pay me. Neither am I going to demand anything extraordinary. I just demand that on Sunday you give me some space so I can worship my God who created me, so I can remember our ancestors, so I can reminisce and look at the face of my mother and father and my siblings all the way back in Africa. I know I will not see them again. Maybe they are dead. Maybe they are on the high seas being maltreated. But let me just pretend that they are still alive. Let me create an image of them in my mind's eye, so that at least I will shed tears of joy. Oh gosh. The Isaac Royall House in Medford, Massachusetts. The slave quarters, that was where she was. That building is still there, notorious for slavery. A lot of African slaves were in there. She cooked the best meals for her master. And when Sunday came, she was excused off duty. She would pray. She would weep. She would sing some of the local songs of the country that she was taken from in Africa. She sang them, and sometimes some of the slaves will join in. Others would shed tears. They will remember the good old times. Oh my God. It came to a time Isaac Royall Jr. could not take it anymore. He couldn't, because the singing was so emotional. He remembered how they came in shackles from Africa. He himself had had the experience to see all these slaves charted down all the way from Africa. And students, you can see a photograph of the wonderful Isaac Royall house right there in Medford in Massachusetts. If you happen to be in Massachusetts, make sure you go there and check it out. And there's a tombstone. And when you look at the tombstone, it's very interesting what is written there. It says the original portion of the royal house appears to have been a farmhouse constructed in 1637 by Governor Winthrop as part of his 10 Hills Farm, New Hampshire. Lieutenant Governor John Usher enlarged the house and lived in it from 1692 until 1726. Colonel Isaac Royall Sr., a wealthy merchant, purchased the property, and that's the man we're talking about. Purchased the property in 1732 and commissioned the rebuilding of the residence. He lived here from 1737 until his death in 1739, only 2 years after he bought and refurbished the whole place. From 1739 until 1775, Isaac Royall Jr., his own son, took over the place, and he lived there close to 40 solid years. He resided here in a lavish manner. Despite his apparent sympathy towards the patrons called Royall, fled to England after the outbreak of the Revolutionary War. He never returned. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, when you look at the slave quarters, that's the building where the sisters were kept from Africa. Now, the small building was constructed in 1732 by Colonel Isaac Royall Sr. himself as housing for the 27 black men and women he brought from Antigua. Several of the former royal slaves became prominent members of the Medford community. Now, this building is the only surviving slave quarters in the northern United States of America. So you must go and see it anytime you are in America. I'm going to be in America this year, and I'll make sure that I go there again to look at it. Now, the Royal House is a registered National Historic Landmark, and this was where our Ghanaian sister and ancestor was kept as a slave. See what happened now? Just as you read from that tombstone, my brother, my sister, Isaac Royall Sr. lived in that house for only 2 years, and he died. And his own son decided to take over the place, and he lived there for close to 30 solid years. I beg your pardon, 40 solid years. Now, when the Revolutionary War broke out in America, oh my God, he decided to run away and left all the slaves in there. In February 1783, Sutton presented a petition to the Massachusetts General Court representing a pension from the proceeds of her enslaved estate. I'm going to be telling you more about this. But bring that tombstone back and let me show you something. Now on the tombstone, my brother, my sister, you will realize that the man we're talking about who ran away, Isaac Royall Jr., lived in that house from 1739 when his father died, and he inherited the place until 1775. Now in 1775, when he ran away from there, he knew he was not returning to the place in Massachusetts, America, Medford to be specific. He ran away to England to escape the Revolutionary War. So he left a will, and in the will, he decided to bequeath almost all the slaves to his relatives. In other words, his relatives inherited all these slaves except this great black woman by name Belinda Sutton. Show me the photograph of Belinda Sutton. So that was what happened. This is Belinda Sutton. Oh my God, beautiful woman. And the interesting thing is that Isaac Royall Jr. himself took this photograph. He commissioned this photograph and he kept it in his room. Some people said he worshipped this photograph as the photograph of Mary, the son that became the savior of the world, Jesus Christ, the mother of Jesus. This photograph was so important to him. All the sumptuous foods he ate in that house came from the kitchen of this black woman. In fact, sometimes she even gave him some massage. And other times, oh gosh, he sat down and she bathed him right from the head all the way down to the toes, including everywhere. Gosh. This is the African history class. And
this is 3FM.
Today we're talking about Belinda Sutton. So he wrote in his will, especially for this woman. He said, I free this woman if she wants to be free. I have no right, and my conscience will not even set me right, that this woman has cooked for me all this while, gave me all the wonderful massages. Oh, run errands that I did not even ask her to run for me. She did not wait for me to say, do it, before she did it. Please, if I cannot do anything for her, I set her free today. But if she still wants to live in this house, she has to live in this house as a free black woman. And number two, nobody has the right in the city of Medford, in the state of Massachusetts, to enslave this black woman. Oh my God. When Belinda Sutton saw the will, she wept. She didn't know her master had come to fall in love with her like that. Yet, under no circumstances did he ever demand sex from her like other enslavers did. So see what happened now. Interesting things happening in these times. My brother, my sister. Hey! So when this will was read in court, she became free. She decided to take her freedom. And she decided to still be in the house, at least for some time. While she was in the house, other people were enslaved, but she was free. She continued to behave like a slave, still cooking, still cleaning, still gardening, until she moved out permanently to start her own life. That was where she fell in love with a man called Sutton. Oh gosh. In fact, she had 2 children. In the interim, listen to what happened in February 1783, almost 30 years after being freed. See what happened now. Oh gosh. She went to court, and what did she say? She said, listen, I have served my master well. My master made a lot of money from a lot of the work that I did. I was carried in slavery all the way from West Africa. Oh, I never saw my mother, my father, and my siblings. I am traumatized. I have come to the court to ask for reparation. What is reparation? In fact, compensation for slavery. I need to be given money every month to take care of myself. In fact, and this became one of the first cases of reparation, and this was granted in court. She was given money every month. Unfortunately, after the second month, the estate of Isaac Royall Jr. refused to continue paying her monthly stipends. And she went back to court and demanded that that money be paid. Sadly, when she returned home that day, she died. Today we remember you. Oh, mommy. Mommy, we remember you. She died 70 years plus. Some people say she was murdered because she insisted that she had to be paid reparation. Murdered, died, there was a death. Today we remember you, mommy. Mommy, me see a kai you, mommy. Mommy, una yamiko. Mommy, me see una yamiko, mommy. Mommy, me see why have you? Mommy, why have you? Mommy, me see una yamiko. Mommy, bye you. Oh, mommy. Is it me new go? Mommy, me new go. Mommy, me see me new go. Oh, mommy. Mommy, where are you go? Mommy, bye you. Yeah, mommy. Me see me new go. Mommy, me new go. Mommy, bye you. Mommy. Yeah, mommy. Mommy, me see me new go. Mommy. Oh, mommy. Mommy, bye you. Mommy, me see bye you. In the burden of knowledge, I ask you, how will the story of Belinda Sutton impact your own life in this present day? In contemporary times, how will the life of this great black woman impact your own life? Oh, mommy. Mommy. Me see me never go, mommy. Mommy, don't me front you. Mommy, don't me front you. She died without ever returning to this great, wonderful country. She died without ever seeing her mother again, her father. Oh, not even her siblings. In the burden of knowledge, I ask you, now that you know what to do, be an any olea mini obafe, ye zunda kagane mezaka yine, ye ampa bango bokaya nang, fifi aye nyanu kaina wo, bana ye huebeden, lele yanjima singa bekone, lele yanjima singa beri, au mame. Mame. Papa mula ho meo. Mama mula ho meo, how na